Good morning, this is Deborah Matthews, Vicar of Verwood, with my thought for today. Who do you follow today? When we say we follow someone or something, we could be referring to a TV programme or maybe somebody on YouTube. My niece has thousands of followers on her YouTube vegan cake making site. Well, we all normally follow something or someone for just a short while because our tastes change over the years. When I was 15, I went to my first concert at the Guildhall in Southampton to see Elton John. At 15, he was my favourite performer. My best friend Wendy and I were his followers. We were extremely excited to actually see him live, and we had front row seats. I can't remember how we got such good seats. It was probably a birthday present from our parents, and they grew up as best friends too. I know that they were rather worried about us going to a concert on our own, but we were certainly avid followers of Elton John. At that concert, Elton played some of the tracks from his new album, not yet released. It was called Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And I've got to know that album very well over the years. It was actually 50 years later, at the beginning of April this year, that I went to see him again, this time at the O2 as part of his farewell tour. It was an evening filled with memories. Elton, of course, looks older now, as do I, but throughout the 50 years I have remained a follower. And I thought about this as I was writing this talk. Today is the fourth Sunday of Easter. This fourth Sunday is known as Good Shepherd Sunday. In the Gospels we hear Jesus referred to in many different ways. Lord, Teacher, and King are just the first three that come to mind. But another word describing Jesus' identity is shepherd. In St. John's Gospel, we hear Jesus speaking of himself as a shepherd. Jesus says, "I am the good shepherd." It is this saying which connects us to the pastoral language used for those who follow Jesus, calling us his flock. Jesus offers himself as a contrast to the leaders who lack commitment or care for those they are responsible for. The sheep do not recognize those leaders, but they will be ready to follow the Good Shepherd who will lead them safely into the sheepfold through the gate. Well, by saying this, Jesus was warning his listeners to be careful about who they followed. In the beautiful hymn, "The Lord is my shepherd," we pick up the importance of following the one who cares for us and the one who will lead us to still waters. Jesus is the one who is always caring for us and will go back to search for us when we are lost. One of the vows we make when we are ordained is to care for Christ's own flock. It is something I have always remembered. It is humbling and a great privilege to be trusted with the souls of those we serve. Throughout our lives, we go through stages of following people, even having a crush on them, which my 7-year-old granddaughter assures me is completely normal. And in fact, the subject of the crushes change regularly. I think it was more Elton John's music than him that I had a crush on all those years ago. But most trends come and go. Following Jesus is different. It is not temporary. It is for life. Even when we fall away, he never lets us go. So I am proud to say that I follow Jesus. There are a whole load of others I have followed for a while during my life, but I don't expect them to necessarily even know who I am, let alone care for me. But I do trust that I am loved and cared for by God. And so following Jesus is not just something for the time being, but something for the whole of my life. So now, in the words of the modern chorus of the 23rd Psalm, I repeat my promise to God, saying, "I will trust in you alone, for your endless mercy follows me. Your goodness will lead me home. God bless you, and may you be led in his name.